Hello there, welcome back to another video, and in this particular video we're going to talk about fragrances that are award winners because we would want to discuss these fragrances and their dupes as well. So on this video I will talk to you about wherever there is possibility to showcase and talk to you about a dupe that's available for this award winning fragrance. Let's talk about it. The awards that we're talking about are called the Fragrantica People's Choice Awards 2024. Now the results generally come out on the 31st of December, and we've had a few days. So I thought let's talk about these particular fragrances and see which ones have won, which are the popular releases, and do we actually have them, have we tried them, or should you consider getting these particular fragrances, right? All of this in this particular video, and you're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get into it right after this intro. Alright, welcome back, and let's get into it straight away. So the Fragrantica 2024 Awards, this is the Reader's Choice Awards. Now what makes this nice is the part that this is basically people like you and me who can go onto this particular website and vote for these fragrances. I think the voting generally opens sometime around October, so they have a good 2 months time for them to collect all of the votes and then release the names of the fragrances which have actually won, right? So from that point of view, I feel this is an excellent list because this is more of a common man's perspective about which fragrances are good and what they think were some of the best fragrances of last year. And this is not a critics award, so it's not some major perfumer or somebody who is sniffing and rating these fragrances. This is basically you and me just going about all of the new releases of fragrances and then saying, okay, these ones I liked and these ones I did not like. The interesting thing about this particular category is also the other awards that are considered. I mean, the other fragrances that are considered in this runner-up are also quite interesting. So that's what I thought, let's do this particular video. Okay, so the first award on this particular list is actually the women's list. Okay, and this is where the first award is the Best Women's Fragrance 2024, and the award actually goes to Goddess Burberry. Okay, now I got to try this particular fragrance while I was in Malaysia. There was a kiosk, there was a promo that was happening for this particular fragrance, and I must tell you, it's a fantastic fragrance which is basically very beautiful, vanilla, woody kind of a nice I think it also has got some amount of cacao, like chocolate kind of a vibe as well. Very beautiful, mellow, nice kind of a fragrance. I remember this very well. So that is the winner of this particular award. While the other choices, if I look at, there is Black Opium, which is very good as well, and there is also the La Intendant or the Parfum Rouge. Now this was actually very good. I've tried this multiple number of times while going out of the airport, and every time you try this, although this is a woman's fragrance, men will actually kind of like it very much. It's got a very boozy, cherry kind of a vibe, and it's got something very intoxicating about the scent profile. It kind of smells very beautiful. If you get an opportunity, definitely try. Black Opium, Yves Saint Laurent, okay, also is a very good fragrance. And surprisingly, one other Middle Eastern fragrance which has made this list is Lattafa's Eclair. Now Eclair is a very popular fragrance among women. I think it is an alternate of Bianca Latte. I think it's one of those fragrances, if I'm not wrong, but this is really good. I think it's a very popular fragrance this year. Okay, so you should definitely try out if you want to try experimenting with the Lattafa line of fragrances, then you should definitely try out the Eclair. So the winner for the women's category of Best Women's Fragrance for 2024 is Goddess by Burberry Goddess. Moving ahead from the women's category, let's go to the men's category of fragrances, and these have some fantastic lineup, and I think the winner, I'll talk to you about it, but let me tell you some of the contenders of this particular list. It is La Mel Elixir, okay, you have Oud Maracuja, you have L'Homme Ideal from Guerlain, you also have Valentino Umo's Born in Roma, which is very popular, Acqua di Gio Parfum Edition, and then I kind of like these two fragrances a lot. One is Pacific Chill from Louis Vuitton, very excellent summer fragrance, and then Myself as well is a very popular fragrance, although I have not tried it, but I think it got a lot of hype. A lot of people kind of liked it. I personally like Boss Bottle Elixir a lot, and I even spoke about it in my Christmas fragrances list as well. I think it's a fantastic fragrance. So if you want to get Boss Bottle Elixir, you should definitely consider Scentedelix version. It's very nice. Pacific Chill, you should definitely consider Al Maham, because I think I have it here, and that's an interesting fragrance because we'll come to that. The men's category of fragrance the winner of this is Perfumes de Marles Alter. Okay, and Alter is a very beautiful fragrance. If you don't have Alter, you can definitely consider getting Liquid Brune from the house of Fragrance World. Very beautiful, high, one of the best releases of this year, easily high quality, lovely fragrance that has got a vanilla, chocolatey, caramel type of a vibe. Very, very beautiful fragrance. You can definitely consider that. And I'm glad that Altair actually won something this year, because it actually was very good even when it came out, I think towards the end of 23, if I'm not wrong. But very nice to see that, Altair won the best men's fragrance award. Okay. Then what else? So the Unisex award. Okay, so in the Unisex category, the winner is fantastic. It's a very beautiful situation where the winner is something very nice. In fact, I'll talk to you about it. But some of the contenders are definitely Altair again, Tobacco Honey from the house of Guerlain. This is very nice. Again, very beautiful fragrance. Lucky that I got to experience these fragrances this year. Pacific Chill again from the house of Louis Vuitton. Amour Cafe. Then you have Old Fashioned from the house of Kilian. Then you also have Vanilla Havan from the house of Las Indomables. That is also a beautiful fragrance. We spoke about this from the releases of Almaham's fragrances, and I think I do have that here. So you can also get this from the house of Almaham. Very, very nicely done fragrance. But the winner of this category is really, really interesting, like I said, and the winner is Latafa's Camra Kawa. Okay, fantastic release from Latafa this year. So already the Camra was a very beautiful lineup of fragrance, and the Kawa followed up with that coffee note to it. Very beautiful. A lot of people liked it. Excellent, winter fragrance as well. I regret selling off my partials for these two fragrances, but definitely a very, very good one. You can check out my review between the Camra and Kawa if you're still considering to get this. Apparently, this particular year, there will be 2 more releases from Camra line. Okay, so there will be 2 or 3, I think there will be. One black, one red, and there is another one that's coming out. So it will be pretty interesting to see. I think one blue colored one, I think might be something from the line of Kilian's house, or could be something like that. There are, I think, 3 releases from the line of Camra that will come out this year. Those will be very interesting to see as well. Okay, so the best unisex fragrance is Latafa's Camra. Okay, now going to the niche category of 2024, the best niche fragrances, and here you have some good, honorable mentions, or rather good lineup of people which have actually competed against this, which is one is Nishane Ani X. Now Ani X, I think, was not the most popular fragrance that came out. Vanilla Havan again, that was a nice one. Narcotic Delights by Initio Parfum. Okay, then Rabbit from the house of Zoologist, then Ingenious Ginger from Goldfield and Banks. I think Centedelic has a very good dupe of this. You should check it out. Blue Talisman Ex Nihilio. I did not like this fragrance. I tried it. I did not honestly like it. Wulong Shah X, did not try it. Bake Acro, very, very nice. Okay, Almaham has a very good dupe of Bake Acro. You can definitely try. Now the niche category of fragrances actually won by Oud Maracuja. Okay, now Maison Crevelli's line of fragrances, 3 that were released: Hibiscus, Oud Maracuja, and Iris Malakan. I think all of that were fantastic, but Oud Maracuja is really, really nice. Now there is a fragrance from Fragrance Worlds. I think it's called Azur or Ajaro, which is supposed to be an alt of that. If you get that, we'll definitely get it. But if not, you can definitely try out Centric's Exotic Fruity Oud, which is very nice. It's got this passion fruit mixed with oud. Very fruity, very beautiful, high quality of fragrance even here. But if you want to try some nice oud fragrance with a nice fruity profile, you should definitely give this one a try as well. So moving ahead, this is a very interesting list of fragrance, which is basically men's favorite woman fragrance, okay, or rather men's favorite woman's fragrance, which is what, as we think, as men, we think is the best woman's fragrance out there. Now the contenders for this particular fragrance is Angel Share. Surprising, I thought it will be a good unisex fragrance, but a lot of men think it's a very good woman's fragrance. Delina, okay, Hypnotic Poison, Black Opium definitely yes. Then Coco, Mademoiselle Coco, okay, which is a very popular fragrance. Again, La Intendant Eau de Parfum Rouge, which is really, really good. No surprises there. Good Girl, Carolina Herrera, a very old fragrance. Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. And the winner of this particular list is actually Libre Intense Eau Laurent, okay, so which is the fragrance that men think is the best women's fragrance out there, okay. And women, if you're watching this list, you can definitely put your comments and let us know if we men think it's right, okay. So with the same notion, we'll continue ahead with what women think is the best men's fragrance out there, and this has got some very nice lineup of fragrance. I think most of these are very popular fragrances among men. Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, Terre Hermes, okay, which is absolutely fantastic. Stronger With You Intensely, okay, Stronger With You Intensely. Jazz Club, Maison Martin Margiela, oh, that's an interesting one, we should check that out. Alter, Perfumes de Mali, Acqua di Gio, Creed Aventus still rules in this particular list, and Grand Soa from Maison, Francis Cordogen, okay. So with all of these, the winner of this particular list is actually DHI, okay. Dior Intense 2011 still rules as what women think is one of the best fragrances or the best fragrances for men, okay. So Dior Homme still rules, okay. So if you haven't got it, you should definitely try. I did have a bottle of it and I've sadly lost it, okay. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, moving ahead. So now the next set of the awards are basically fragrances that are from 2020. So from 2020, which are some of the best fragrances up until now? And the first one to talk about is the Gourmand list of fragrances. Now in the Gourmand list of fragrances, the good ones to consider are Latafa Camra, okay, Parfums de Marly Alter again, Devotion from Dolce & Gabbana, Amour Cafe from Mancera, Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir, that one is making a lot of news. Vanille Havan, again, the one from Las Indomables, and then Blanche Bette from Las Liquidates Imaginaries, okay, that one we haven't tried. Italica, Zurge of 2021. Now that one, if you want, you can get from Afia. They have a fantastic fragrance which is killer, okay, you should definitely try it. I think it's called Theodosius. You should definitely try that. Then, of course, Burberry Goddess is also considered for this particular award. But the winner of the best gourmand since 2020 is Angel Share. Okay, now Angel Share, hands down, some of the best fragrances. In fact, I will talk to you about one of the dupes which I kind of like absolutely, which is from the house of Zimaya. This is called Sharaf Blend. I believe Fragrance World's Royal Blend is also supposed to be very, very good. There is also going to be a very beautiful in budget within 1000 rupees 100 ml of this particular fragrance from an Indian house that I'll talk to you about very soon. Is also a very good option to consider. So Kilian's Angel Share is the best gourmand since 2020. Okay, moving ahead from 2020, best men's floral fragrance. Okay, this is interesting. Now again, here you have La Intendant Eau de Parfum Rouge, which is considered for this even for men. That's why I said it's, though it's a women's fragrance winner, I think it's a very good men's fragrance as well, because the floral notes of that cherry, and I think jasmine, that kind of a vibe, very, very nice. Blanche Bette is again here. Libre Intense is also here. Then you have Guilty Elixir, okay. You also have Oranger Sirocco, you have Golistan Tower of Perfumes, J'adore Parfum, and Valaya from the Parfums de Mali lineup. But the winner for this particular list is Reflection 45, okay, Amouage. Now Reflection 45 is an intense version of Reflection 45, Reflection itself, and you can consider a very good Reflection dupe from the house of Shiak, Cuddlers, called Shiaka Silver. Super fragrance, it's there in a lot of lists, and I'm kind of glad that most of these fragrances that we're talking about has been in a lot of lists. That means some of the suggestions that we've given as reviewers definitely has hit the mark in terms of the best fragrances. So I've spoken a lot about Shiaka, so Reflection is a very, very good fragrance. All right, the next one. This is the best manly fragrance since 2020. I'm glad about the winner on this one, because I have praised about this particular fragrance even in my recent, I think the end of 2024 Middle Eastern fragrance list, as well as saying that this is a more of a modern man kind of a fragrance. But before that, let me tell you what are the good, runner-ups. La Male La Parfum, Jean Paul Gaultier. Okay, Gentleman Reserve Privé. Okay, so it's a very, very nice fragrance. It's a very small partial that I have. That's a very good contender for this. Dior Homme 2020. Okay, Terre Hermes Eau Givry. Okay, Ombre Leather Parfum. So you can definitely consider Noir Leather from the house of Paris Con as a very good alternative. Imagination Louis Vuitton. You can consider Caro's Blue Spice. You can consider Maison Alhambra's Immortal, and then you can also consider Al-Maham's Imagination. You can also consider Scentedelic's Journey to Enlightenment, very good alternatives of Imagination. Then Acqua di Gio Parfum Edition, Boss Bottle Elixir again on this particular list. Okay, then Emporio Armani Stronger With You, absolutely. So there we had intensely, and now we have absolutely. So these are all some of the best men's manly fragrances, but the winner of this list is Sauvage Elixir. Okay, now Sauvage Elixir, if you do not have, definitely look at getting Cudlet's Gate, or look at getting Latafa's Asad as some fantastic fragrances, as good alternatives to get for Latafa's Asad. You can also think about Balzac Perfumes Modern Woodsman as well, very, very beautiful fragrance. It's a blend between Elixir and I would say Boss Bottled Elixir. Okay, Sauvage Elixir, Dior Elixir and Boss Bottled Elixir, very, very good fragrance to consider. Next, best women's fragrance of all time. So like we had the Dior Homme Intense, we have Poison Dior, which is a good consideration here. Here you can think about other fragrances like Delina and Coco Mademoiselle, you have Libre Intense, you have Alien Muggler, you have Shalimar Eau de Parfum and Parfum Edition, both are fantastic fragrances to consider. You can also consider Chanel's No. 5 Eau de Parfum as well. Okay, so very, very good list. So this is basically of greatest best women's fragrance of all time so far is Poison, Hypnotic Poison from the house of Dior. Similarly, if you think about the men's fragrance, best men's fragrance of all time, then it is Bleu de Chanel, Terre de Hermès, Aventus, Dior Homme Parfum 2014 one, not the 25 release, 2014 one. Naxos, okay, Leighton, La Nuit de l'Homme, La Mail La Parfum, Acqua di Gio, Profumo. Okay, when you consider all of these fragrances, the winner for the best men's fragrance of all time is 2021 Dior Homme Intense, which I think is fantastic, right? So it's a cult classic fragrance to consider. Moving from, so women's is Hypnotic Poison, then men's is a DHI, and then if you look at the best niche fragrance of all time, some very nice recommendations are Desert Moroccan from Andy Toyo. You have Nishanis Ani, which is also considered extremely high. Musk Ravager from Frederic Malle, Portrait of a Lady. Then you have Gris Chanel's BDK, okay, which is extra. You can consider Liam Gray as a good alternate for it. Vanille Havan from Las Inda Models is there. Alexandria 2, you can consider getting an alternate from Al Maham for Alexandria 2, very, very nice. Nishane Ashivat, so plenty of dupes for Nishane Ashivat, but I'll tell you Afia's version of Nishane Ashivat, I think Oud Sylvester or something else, it's called Greek Mythology something, very, very beautiful fragrance from Afia. But the winner of the best niche fragrance of all time is Xerjoff Naxos. I have a small decant of it. Been trying my hard luck to get a good alternate from a Middle Eastern line. There is one from Paris Corner that I reviewed some time back, which is a decent one to consider. But I think a good one from India, Indian houses you can consider is Al Maham's version of Naxos is really spot on. Very, very good dupe, from them. You can definitely consider that. So best niche fragrance of all time is 1861 Xerjoff Naxos. It's a honey, tobacco, floral kind of a complementing type of fragrance, which is absolutely stunning. Right. Coming ahead to the best marketing 2024 for a fragrance which was best marketed and got a lot of maybe sales, and it kind of grabbed a lot of attention for people. So if you look at this particular list, there is La Bao Paradise from Jean Paul Gaultier. In fact, Jean Paul Gaultier list rules here. Gaultier's Divine is also a very good option. Naso Matos Sada Naso, I haven't tried that. Marshmallow from Kayali, okay. Myself, La Parfum from Yves Saint Laurent. J'adore L'Or, 2023 release. Chanel No. 5, Devotion, again, Latafa's Eclair is on this particular list as well as a very well marketed fragrance. Very nice to see Latafa making a lot of these, checks here. But the winner of this particular list is Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir. Fantastic fragrance, very easily gettable as well. But if you can't afford that, you can definitely get Latafa's The Kingdom. Very, very popular, very beautiful fragrance to get at about 2000 rupees. You have Latafa's Kingdom, you have lot of dupes that are coming out. In fact, I think Rayan Elixir is also available. You can consider that as well. So consider any one of these fragrances if you're looking for an alternate for Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir. Okay. Right, now moving, I think these are the last couple of awards, which is the worst fragrance marketing. Now the best one was Lattafa's Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir, and you can also consider Lattafa's what was this fragrance called? Eclair. Now, if you think about the worst fragrance in this category is basically, Sauvage Eau Forte, okay, the new one that came out. And then I think all of the others are primarily Donald Trump's fragrances, except for Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex, which has also made this list, and Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Pride also made this list. Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 also made this list, but I think the worst fragrance marketed is Fight, Fight, Fight from Donald Trump. Okay, that's, I don't know whether it's a hate for Donald Trump or if the fragrance itself is not that great. So that's what made that list. And I think continuing ahead to going back, now this is going back to again best fragrance fruits 2020. Okay, category of fruity fragrances. If you look at this particular list, God of Fire. Now I spoke to you about from Centrix. This is a fantastic fragrance to consider. Okay, Burberry Her. Okay, La Bao, La Parfum. I have Fragrance World's dupe here. Okay, which is Jean Paul Gustave Amaze. Very, very nice fragrance. The bottle is really killer, beautiful. You can consider that as a very nice alternative as well for this particular fragrance. Then you have Oud Maracuja, again because it's a fruity fragrance. Orange Sirocco. And if you look at all of these list of fragrances, the winner is Pacific Chill from Louis Vuitton. Now this is the fragrance. I think that there is apricot note on this particular fragrance, and there is a nice orange, okay, apricot, and I think you should definitely consider Almam's version of Pacific Chill. Very, very nice. You also can consider Centedelic's version as well. I will see if you can get a good Middle Eastern version. I think there is a Maison Alhambras, the vibe, but I'm not sure if it is Pacific Chill or something else, or but I'll get that and try it out and let you know which fragrance dupe is that. Right, moving further. So best Iris since 2020. Okay, now in this category, it's again a La Male La Parfum. Okay, Dior Intense, Dior Original. Okay, Valentino Uomo Intense, which I have told you is a very good fragrance. You can consider Albate's dupe for it. BDK's Gris Chanel. You can definitely consider Lattafa's Liam Gray. Okay, then Interlude Black Iris, and Shalimar Millesime Iris, Armani Code Parfum. Okay, then if you look at all of these fragrances, I think the winner is Gentleman Givenchy. Okay, Reserve Privé, excellent Iris fragrance. You can definitely consider getting Albate's one, like I mentioned earlier. Or if you already own Lattafa's Caid Intense, then you don't need to get anything else. Fantastic fragrance to consider. Okay, moving ahead. The Amber Woods. Okay, so basically this award is for Amber fragrances, and the award is called Lost in the Amber Woods. Now this particular award, there are a good amount of contenders, basically from Andrew Choi's list of fragrances like Desert Moroccan and Desert Tower, Baby Cat from Yves Saint Laurent, okay, Sundowner, okay, Cardinal from James Healy, any other fragrances, Ambre Supreme, Pure Mandarin. When you think about all of these, I think mostly these are all niche fragrances in this particular list, and the winner for this particular list is Grand Soyer from the house of Maison Francis Cordigan, and a good alternative is from the house of Lattafa called as Eternal Oud. You can definitely consider this as a very good alternate for this particular fragrance. In budget, checks a lot of boxes, smells very great, amber, light sweetness, very masculine, in a very gentleman's kind of way. Very good fragrance to consider. Best tobacco fragrance since 2020. Now in this particular list, there were some fantastic fragrances and definitely good one. Guerlain's Honey Tobacco, now, or Tobacco Honey. This is so good. If you get to try this original, you should definitely try it. If you want to dupe, I think you should check out Al Maham. They have a very nice one, and I think Centedelic also has a good one. Then it is Royal Tobacco from Amouage, and Centedelic's version of Royal Tobacco Amouage is killer. You can definitely buy it hands down. Then you have Vanilla Havan, again you can consider from Centedelic. You have Red Tobacco Intense from Mancera, okay, but you can simply get the Red Tobacco itself from Mancera, which is fantastic. Tobacco from Dior you can consider getting. These are all some popular fragrances that I know of, and the winner for this is again Vanille Havan from the brand La Indomobiles. You can definitely consider. Again, Almaham has a very good dupe of it. By no means this is a sponsored video, but I'm just letting you all know that these are the fragrances that I have tried this year, experience, and these are some recommendations that I would like to give you in terms of what are considered good. Now, when we come down to the fragrance, which is, I hate this particular fragrance, which is the worst fragrance of this particular here. Okay, now the contenders for this is very, very interesting, because Baccarat Rouge is one of the contenders in this particular list. That means people have started to hate this DNA, because probably this DNA has been there throughout, and that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense. Herba Pura from Xerjoff is also in this particular list. 1 million from Paco Rabanne, that means it's getting older. Fight is here. Lave Es Label from Lacombe is still here on this list. Swatch is made this particular list as well, so that means people are not liking the Swatch DNA anymore. Jupe Home from Jupe. Now, surprisingly, that's a very nice fragrance. I love that fragrance from Jupe. It's very, very beautiful. I don't know why it's here. Million Gold from Paco Rabanne again is in this list. But the worst fragrance, or the I hate the most fragrance, is Sauvage Eau Forte. Now that we know, because it was a water infused kind of a fragrance and that did not really have a lot of power and kick. So I think that's the reason why that particular fragrance came there. Now I think these are the last couple of awards, which is the most boring fragrance for women. That is Prada's Milano, and Vanilla Sex is also on this particular list. Femme Intense from Paco Rabanne is also on this particular list. Okay, Dior's Miss Dior Parfum is here. Okay, Goddess Burberry also is in this list. Kind of contradicting situation here for Goddess Burberry, because Goddess Burberry, I think the dupe of this is basically Maison Alhambra's Athena. If we get it, I will definitely review it. It is in the most boring fragrances, but it also won the best women's fragrance as well. But the most boring women's fragrance winner is Prada, Paradox. Okay, Virtual Flower Prada. That's the winner of this category. And for the men, it's Sauvage Eau Forte Dior is the worst, the boring fragrance. A couple of mentions here is Million Gold, Eros Energy did not go well. Myself from Yves Saint Laurent also is in this list. In fact, Why Elixir, Why Eau de Parfum also makes this particular list as well as the most boring fragrances. Phantom from Paco Rabanne is also here, and Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir from Carolina Herrera also in this particular list as well. Okay, so overall I think these were some of the fragrances that made this particular year, and interesting to see some nice ones. Definitely Bruns performs them. Marley's Alter is really good. Sauvage Elixir still makes for a very nice Sauvage Elixir. Dior Elixir is definitely a good fragrance. You can think about Jean Paul Gaultier's La Mel La Elixir. Okay, Gentleman Givenchy, Reserve Privé, very good fragrances. Naxo, Amouage, Reflection, all of these are great fragrances, and some of their dupes are definitely available. For me personally, I think Oud Maracour definitely was one of the most interesting fragrances for this particular year, right? So that's what I thought, and it will be interesting to see what's available for 2025, and we can do the same list of fragrances next year and see what's come, what's gone out, and what's intact. If you kind of like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe and share, and please do share your comments and let me know what are your favorite fragrances and worst fragrances buys of this particular year. I'll see you in another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.